Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right in to explore a genuinely mind-bending mystery today, one that might just turn your entire understanding of human history completely upside down. We spend so much time studying our own past, looking at timelines we feel pretty confident about. But what about the blank spaces? Have you ever wondered what happened before our story even began, roughly 300,000 years ago? So what if human history is, well, incomplete? I want you to really let your imagination run wild with that for a second. Imagine a civilization so incredibly advanced that it existed millions of years before humans ever walked the Earth. Picture a species that built sprawling cities, created complex technology, lived out their grand, epic histories, and then they just simply vanished. We're talking about an entire world, an entire epic of intelligent life completely gone.
And here's the truly fascinating part about this. If such a civilization vanished, we aren't talking about a sudden catastrophic global war or a disease wiping them out. The real culprit is actually much more relentless. It's time. Time itself erased every single trace they ever existed. No crumbling ruins left in a jungle, no grand monuments jutting out of the desert sand, not even a single skeleton. Nothing. Which leads scientists to a pretty terrifying question. If an advanced civilization lived on Earth millions of years before us, would we even be able to find it? The answer to that question might absolutely change the way you think about history.
Section 1. The Missing History.
Okay, let's dive into this.
To really grasp why scientists are asking these questions, we have to completely reset our perspective on time. It's like a giant puzzle. Let's break down the numbers. Our planet Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Now, modern humans, we've only existed for about 300,000 years. And recorded history, the empires, the kings, the discoveries we all learned about in school, that is only about 5,000 years. That means an overwhelming, massive 99.999% of Earth's history happened before civilization as we know it even began. We occupy a practically invisible sliver of time.
So, when you look at that massive, empty timeline, billions of years of churning oceans, shifting continents, and evolving life, you kind of have to ask, could another intelligent civilization have risen long before us, deep in that 99.999%? I know, at first glance it sounds totally impossible. It sounds exactly like science fiction. But surprisingly, a group of real, highly credentialed scientists decided to formally ask this exact question. Which brings us to Section 2, the Silurian Hypothesis. Now, despite how sci-fi that name sounds, it's absolutely crucial to understand what this hypothesis actually is. Scientists didn't propose this because they suddenly found secret proof of lost worlds or hidden alien artifacts. Instead, it asks a rigorous, really fascinating scientific question. What physical traces would an advanced civilization actually leave behind after millions and millions of years have passed? Could any evidence survive that kind of immense geological framework?
Section 3. Erasing a civilization.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. To really understand this, we have to look at the sheer, violent power of our planet over deep time. Think about everything around you right now. Cities crumble. First, glass breaks and shatters into dust. Then, steel rusts and dissolves right back into the earth. Concrete degrades, and roads just disappear beneath vegetation and soil. But then, deep time really flexes its muscles. Over tens of millions of years, the very ground beneath those cities changes. Continents actually move. Entire mountain ranges are pushed up into the sky by tectonic plates, and then they completely vanish, ground down to flat plains by millions of years of wind and rain. After tens of millions of years, almost everything humanity has ever built could be completely, physically gone. We've been trained by movies and pop culture to expect that ancient history leaves behind these obvious, spectacular clues. We tend to think what survives are stone ruins, giant monuments, and intact skeletons buried in the dirt. But the scientific reality is vastly different. What actually survives millions of years of tectonic recycling? Well, scientists believe we would be left looking for tiny, microscopic clues. We're talking unusual chemical signatures, or strange, unnatural changes preserved perfectly in ancient rock layers. That might literally be the absolute only footprint a deep-time civilization leaves behind.
And just to be absolutely clear here, according to modern science, no such evidence has been found. As of today, researchers have found zero scientific evidence that an ancient civilization existed before humans. No strange chemical spikes that can't be explained by natural events, no artificial rock layers. But the fact that scientists are even looking for these specific geological signatures is what makes this entire concept so fascinating in the first place.
Section 4. Humanity's future footprint. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is
it completely flips our perspective. We've been talking about looking backward, but let's use this exact same framework to look at humanity's own ultimate fate millions of years from today. Imagine this scenario. Millions of years from now, another intelligent species, or perhaps future explorers from somewhere else, discovers Earth. What will they find of us? They won't fly over the surface and see the towering skyscrapers of New York, the historic streets of London, or the massive structures of Dubai. The continents will have shifted. Those cities will be ground to dust. Instead, they might dig deep into ancient rock and discover something entirely different. They might find strange, microscopic layers of degraded plastic. They might find highly unusual, artificial amounts of carbon trapped in the sediment. Or they might find the lingering, fossilized traces of our industrial pollution locked tight inside ancient rocks. Which leads us to a profound, almost existential twist. If future explorers find a thin layer of plastic and a weird spike in carbon millions of years from now, would that be enough for them to know we existed? Would they be able to reconstruct the beauty, the art, the technology, and the complexity of human life just from a chemical signature in a rock? Maybe. Or maybe not. And that is exactly why this idea fascinates scientists so deeply. History isn't just about the past. Sometimes it's about what the future will never, ever know.
So would they even know we existed? Just like we wonder if someone was here before us, one day our own vibrant, bustling civilization may disappear so completely that future explorers could wonder the exact same thing about us. It's a powerful reminder that our 300,000 years here is just a tiny sliver of Earth's grand story, and it shows us that the greatest, most mind-bending mysteries aren't always hidden far out in the vastness of space. Sometimes they are buried directly beneath our feet, erased by the slow, unstoppable march of time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you next time.